Hey everybody, this is Paul with ProShop. Today we're going to be talking about a very important feature that we call the pre-processing checklist. So how often has it happened in your shop where someone goes to set up a job and you realize you don't have a special tap, or even the material isn't here, or the program isn't finished yet, or there's a special thread gauge that you thought you had but you don't actually have it. That happens in shops all the time on a daily and weekly basis. And that causes huge waste in the process. You either have to pull the job and throw something else on, or you overnight that special gauge, paying 40, 50, 60 bucks to overnight it for early M delivery, while your machine sits there for several hours not doing anything at all. It is all too common, and we experienced that in our shop when we ran our machine shop and before we built ProShop. And as we built ProShop, we tried to solve that problem, and we came up with this idea called the pre-processing checklist. So the way it works is this is a configurable list. It is comprised of items in several different categories that you can specify and identify what you need to make sure is ready and prepared before a job goes on a machine. Let's take a look at a couple things. We're looking at this work order here, work order 130. We see here in this work order type field, this is a prototype job. So this is the very first, of maybe hopefully a job that will turn into production. And the checklist is going to be configured automatically based on the fact that this is a prototype job. So let's take a look at it. It's right here. It's called pre-processing checklist. And here's my list. You'll see that there's several different colored sections here. This stuff here in pink is more to do with contract review, order entry, things of that nature. The orange section here is more for quality planning. There's that special inspection equipment. The yellow is for CNC programming or the detailed manufacturing planning process. And the green section is for the actual sort of job preparation and kitting on the shop floor, making sure you have all your tools ready, you have your fixtures, anything else you might need to make sure that's going to go smoothly. You'll see that I have signed off on some of these items. Some of them are job specific, where there's only a single sign off for the whole job, and other, like ordering material. And other things are operation specific sign offs. And that's really clear in the programming process, where maybe I have finished my program for Op 50, which might be a milling operation, but I haven't yet started programming the lathe operations yet. So they can be op specific or work order specific. So if we click here, back on the work order, you can see the color codes are being fed and displayed right next to these operations. So that is feeding right into there so people can easily see the status of that list without even clicking anywhere else. The other place we're showing this is on our machine schedule. So here we're looking at this machine. There's this Haas 5-axis machine here, and you can see this job is on the machine here, and this job is coming up next, and down the list, these are all different jobs and operations that are coming onto this machine in the future. The color that you see of these schedule bars here matches the color of that checklist. So if we come back here to work order 130, we can see that operation 50 here is green. And so if we go look at the schedule for work order 130, right? There's work order 130, and that is green. Now, the operation 60 is orange because that's what color it is on this schedule. It's orange. So we know that our programming isn't done, and the job certainly isn't physically prepped for this machine. Let's go take a look at this next work order here. This one, excuse me, let me back up here. This is a first run new revision job. Means this is the first time we're doing a production job. So all of our quality requirements will be in place. We have to do a formal first article report. All the certs and everything need to be included in this. There's a lot more detail that's going to go into this particular order. So this checklist is much more detailed. It has a lot more details to it. Here's a lot more in the quality planning, including all the dimension tagging for our inspection report. We have a lot more detail here for our production program with gouge checking and all these details that we want to put more thought into because we're about to start a production process. We have a little bit more on the shop floor. And then these other sections are for tearing down and cleaning up the job at the end, but we're more focused on the things up front. And then let's go take a look at this work order. Work order 33, right here, I can see that is a repeat production order, same exact part number, but look at this list. considerably smaller. There's no programming to be done. There's no quality planning to be done. I'm just mostly making sure I got the right revision, making sure all my materials and tools are here, and then prepping the shop floor. A much smaller list, which is going to take less time. So our goal is not to just check off things for the sake of checking off things. We want to keep it to an absolute bare minimum, just the things that'll be essential to make sure each of these jobs goes well. So that is it in a nutshell. That's the pre-processing checklist. I guess I'll show you this other tab. This is where that checklist gets configured. So this is where we configure all these items in terms of who's responsible, what section, the question itself, what operation types to include them in, what work order types to include them in. So here you can see we can check and uncheck these boxes and include other work order types. We can add other types that are completely different than anything job related. Maintenance items, Kaizen items, design engineering types of items. You can get as creative as you want to with this section. So what does that actually translate into in terms of efficiency and cost savings? We see a pretty typical customer that has embraced this workflow well, basically almost eliminating the need to do overnight shipping, of red last minute items. We've had customers save 90% or more. One customer told me 93% of their UPS overnight shipping charges, and even the need to expedite plating processes because they were behind schedule for some reason like this. We've had customers tell us they virtually eliminated machine downtime based on machines that were waiting on something to be done. So that translates into more throughput, less out-of-pocket costs, and more profit for the shop. So anyway, hopefully that's interesting to you. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We'd love to talk more. Thanks and have a great day.